Happy Monday. Hope everybody out there had a phenomenal weekend. Coming up on the San Francisco 49ers report, according to a report, the Niners interested in a Zach Wilson trade to make him the backup behind Brock Purdy. I'm going to explain how there are better options out there. And are the Niners recruiting a former All-Pro cornerback in Tre'Davious White, who was let go by the Buffalo Bills, Mooney Ward, on the recruiting trail? Before we dive into all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are closing in on 132,000 subscribers, and let me just pose this question. Do you want Niners shows every single day? The solution is very simple. Hit that sub button, and we got you covered. And today's San Francisco 49ers report is sponsored by Roan. I hope all of you out there who had a very good St. Patrick's Day weekend are recovering on this beautiful Monday. And I was out for some St. Patrick's Day festivities in my Roan gear. I was looking good, feeling good. And you can get 20% off your entire order at roan.com/chatsports. This is a fantastic brand where you can get dress shirts like this. You can get polos. Their shorts are awesome. Their pants are also exquisite. And you can utilize these clothing items for really anything that you do. From hosting shows here at Chat Sports to hitting the golf course to going out on the town on a date night or with all of your friends and family members, it's 20% off. Roan.com/chatsports. We'll tell you more about them here over the course of time, and we'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. All right, let's start off with this. This is certainly very interesting, and a few weeks ago, we did talk about the possibility of a Zach Wilson trade. We were at the NFL Scouting Combine. A report came out that maybe the Jets would trade Zach Wilson, and I made the joke here on the show, yeah, water is wet. Obviously, New York wants no part of Zach Wilson any longer, but to the Niners. According to reports, San Francisco interested in trading for the former BYU quarterback, who up to this point has not been a good quarterback in the National Football League. Now, a lot of you watching right now are asking yourselves this question. Chase, why would San Francisco even entertain doing something like this? Well, for the Niners, it's an opportunity to rehab a damaged quarterback. And you look at what Kyle Shanahan has done with quarterbacks in maximizing them, from Matt Schaub in Houston to Kirk Cousins and RG3 in Washington, to winning an MVP alongside Matt Ryan in Atlanta, Jimmy Garoppolo, CJ Beathard, Nick Mullins. Not only has Kyle Shanahan been able to maximize quarterbacks, he's developed them, but he's also helped rehab these quarterbacks to a certain degree, whether they're starters or backups. And this is an opportunity for San Francisco to do that with the quarterback who, let's be honest, you watch some of the highlights, and there are more lowlights. He does have some intriguing traits. Good athlete on the run. He can make plays happen with his legs. He's got a pretty strong arm. Accuracy, not much of that, but he does have a howitzer for a right arm. And is Brandon Allen the answer at quarterback too? If the 49ers want to be financially savvy and cognizant, they're only paying him a little north of $1 million. So after giving Sam Darnold a lot of money, they can more so go the cheap route with Brandon Allen, who is respected by Shanahan, respected in that quarterback room last year, and he used to be the backup behind Joe Burrow. And we know that talent evaluators are always stubborn. They look at one team's trash as maybe their gold, and they think, okay, Zach Wilson has been bad for a dumpster fire of an organization with the poorest coaching staff, bad ownership, bad general manager, bad roster. But if he comes to the San Francisco 49ers, where we've been able to help quarterbacks get on the right track or play well right from the jump, we can right that quarterback's wrongs, and we can turn him into a pretty good player. And then you have to think, well, if he goes somewhere else, we could get a compensatory pick back, or we build up his value, and then we trade him somewhere else. Here's the issue with Zach Wilson, though. I'm pretty confident that Zach Wilson simply is not good. And when he went from playing at BYU to going to the New York Jets, I had concerns about the cultural shock. He grew up in a small community. He goes to BYU. Now he's in the largest media market, which is a very intense media market, playing for the New York Jets, an organization, by the way, that has been starving for a quarterback. So that's kind of the psyche that I'm worried about with Zach Wilson and the lack of confidence, but also as far as the skill set goes, I'm pretty sure that he's just not that good of a quarterback. Now, more thoughts on Zach Wilson coming up. But first, today's show, sponsored by Roan. 20% off using the code CHATSPORTS. Menswear for everybody out there. And here we are in the middle of March. If you haven't added to your wardrobe and swagged up your wardrobe, make sure you do it with Roan. That's what I did. I'm wearing their commuter shirt right now. The polos are very comfortable. Their pants are incredible. Stretchy fabric, durable fabric, and the more that you wear these products, wrinkle release technology has you saving money and not going to the dry cleaner. So this deal, absolutely fantastic. 20% off your entire order at roan.com/chatsports. Like I said, they've been a sponsor for a really long time. We're going to continue to tell you about them, and we're going to put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. And going back to Zach Wilson here, the sample size is long enough where he's had ample opportunities to prove that he can be a starter, to prove that he can play in this league, to prove that he is an accurate quarterback, that he can be even a solid backup. He literally hasn't shown me any of that. And my stance here, if the Niners are indeed in the free agency market for a backup quarterback, and they more so see Brandon Allen as QB3, I'm not going the Zach Wilson route. I'd rather have Carson Wentz, who played well against the Niners in the season finale. I'd rather go with Ryan Tannehill, and both of those quarterbacks are going to be very, very cheap, and I'm pretty sure they're better players. Look at the numbers for Zach Wilson this past year. 12 games played and filling in for Aaron Rodgers. He got so bad that he had to get benched, completed only 60% of his passes, 2,200 plus yards, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a QBR, ladies and gentlemen, of 30.6. Y'all have seen me live on the 49ers Report chuck a football 50-plus yards. I think that I could have a higher QBR than 30.6. I'm 6 foot, 185. I run every day. I feel in good shape. I think that I could do a better job than Zach Wilson. And his career numbers are problematic, to be serious here. 2022, 9 games played, his completion percentage is 54.5%. In 2021, it's 55.5%. The QBR numbers are abysmal. The touchdown-to-interception ratio, horrendous. You thought I was kidding? I think I could do a better job than Zach Wilson. And I throw out the names of Ryan Tannehill and Carson Wentz as backup quarterbacks for this team who are more viable options than Zach Wilson. That's by the way of free agency. How about via the NFL draft? There are some solid backup quarterback prospects here who I'd like to see Kyle Shanahan try to mold and develop and groom, knowing that they don't have to play right away. But over time, Brock Purdy misses a game here, games there. They could step in potentially. Or if they're not ready, you have Brandon Allen. But then over the next couple of years, as we've seen Kyle Shanahan be a quarterback whisperer to a certain degree, you plug them into the system, they put up good numbers, they play well. I like these prospects here. Now, Spencer Rattler, I think, could go round 2, round 3. So I don't think the Niners should use a premium draft pick knowing that they have other needs on the roster. But if he slips, he's got a strong arm, solid mobility, pedigree, #1 overall recruit. When he went to Oklahoma, played under Lincoln Riley, didn't play well, then did play well with South Carolina. Michael Pratt, Niners had a formal interview with him at the NFL Scouting Combine. Jordan Travis was slinging it prior to him hurting his ankle late in the year with Florida State. And Joe Milton is a polarizing prospect. He can throw the ball from the opposite sideline to the opposite hash and do it very easily with the flick of the wrist. At the NFL Combine, we saw him launch a ball about 80 yards. And I love how I tweeted out, draft Joe Milton over signing Zach Wilson. And people are like, this guy's never even watched Joe Milton. Check the receipts. Watch him at Michigan. Watch him at Tennessee. He's got great size. He's got really good athleticism. He can run the RPO, pull it down, run it. And he has incredible arm strength. At the same time, sometimes he has no idea where he's throwing that football because the accuracy is so spiffy, it's so up and down, it's so spotty, and sometimes he can't even hit the broadside of a barn, right? That's the issue with Joe Milton. But with Kyle Shanahan, with this roster as a QB3, late round pick, 6th or 7th round? Why the hell not? So who do you want as Brock Purdy's backup? I just gave you a bunch of options. You drop me a name down below. Am I missing somebody? You let me know down in the chat right now. Let's round out with this. I'd say on this Niners roster right now, if you look at some of the gaps on it, some of the holes on this Niners team, outside corner is still there. Now, obviously, as I've continued to say, it comes down to what the Niners see in Diamador Lenore. Is he a slot nickel corner? Is he an outside guy? He's played really well at both positions. He's probably a little bit shorter than what you'd want from an outside corner, but he's played well, has good ball instincts, has good awareness, makes plays on the football, very good speed. He's tough. He can jam you. He can run with you. Love what I've seen from Demo. In fact, I think he's a building block on this defense. But Tre'Davious White is a very interesting player. And Charvarius Ward seems to be openly recruiting the former All-Pro and Pro Bowler via social media. Now, my guy 49ers and NFL News 24/7, Niners Sports Talk on X said, can you imagine Tre'Davious White lining up next to Diamador Lenore and Charvarius Ward? Well, Charvarius Ward then quote tweeted that and said, we got the same agent. If y'all want him, let me know. And then with the eyeball emojis, he added the agency and said, hand-in-glove fit. What Mooney Ward, who was a second-team All-Pro this past year himself, is saying he'd be a great fit on this Niners defense. Now, there are issues with White, and there are reasons why he's still available. Suffered a torn ACL in November of 2022, comes back from that last year, tore his Achilles in week 4 of 2023. So the last 2 years, he hasn't played a lot of football, and he suffered some serious injuries. He was released by the Bills in a cap-saving move, as we saw Buffalo really cleaning house, especially on the defensive side of the rock, in order to free up some cash flow. Now, he is only 29 years old, so he's still a younger player. But was a star at LSU, good enough for him to be a first-round pick in 2017, first-team All-Pro in 2019, third year, second-team All-Pro in 2020. He got a bag from Buffalo, two-time Pro Bowler, interceptions co-leader in 2019, and there has been a track record of consistent production, high-level play, and him being a shutdown corner in one of the NFL's best defenses, because Buffalo has certainly had that with the defensive mind at head coach. And this becomes a pretty intriguing option here. You look at 2020, what he did in 14 games played. 4 TFLs. He could play around the line a little bit. 57 tackles, 11 pass breakups, 3 picks. 2021, 11 games played, 1 TFL, 6 pass breakups, 1 pick. And while he hasn't played all that much, the last 2 years, 10 games combined, when he has been on the field, he's been a productive player, intercepting passes, breaking up passes, and he has really good size. So Sean McDermott, who is the Bills head coach, defensive mind, as I said, he's very high on Tre'Davious White. But when you're getting paid a lot of money and you're playing only 10 games over the span of 2 years, teams have to move off of that financial commitment. And with a player like this, an injury history that he has, it all comes down to the price tag. How much does Tre'Davious White want? How much is he going to be seeking? How much is he going to earn? Is he a player who got that bag and is now looking to win and compete for a Super Bowl and join forces on a loaded defense that has the likes of Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore and Talanoa Hufanga and Jair Brown and maybe another safety if the Niners decide to go that route in free agency? So would you sign him? S for sign, I for injured. Let me know down in the comments section. We appreciate everybody for watching. We'll be live Tuesday on the 49ers Report. Probably doing some draft prospects a little bit later on this Monday. Let's go.